Welcome back to Made for More. I am your host, Holly J. Moore. I am a lawyer who is passionate about helping you to use the adversity and hard things in your life to grow and show up as the best version of yourself. And I can no longer say divorce lawyer without an accent, so I've just dropped the divorce part altogether. Isn't that right, Aaron?
Yeah, I don't know what intro you're doing to what podcast, but you're just a lawyer now, not a divorce lawyer, not a family law attorney, just a lawyer.
Yes.
Just any old lawyer. No. You are Holly J. Moore extraordinaire. So it's actually interesting, a little behind the scenes here. This is the first time I think we're recording the first segment while the guest is watching. Hi, Allie will be there.
We've never done it worse.
No, Allie's getting a sneak peek at our mediocrity. So thank you. But
it's because we still have kids in the house.
Allie Hill, yes, exactly. We're going crazy. Allie Hill is joining us. Empty nest coach. Hadn't heard of an empty nest coach before, but Allie is all about that life.
Yeah.
We are not empty nesters, you nor I.
Right.
You were soon to be, though. Well, no, not soon to be.
My oldest is 16.
Your first will be leaving the house, but your nest won't be empty just yet.
My nest will still be full.
Yes.
But, thanks to Allie's book, I didn't know that I should already be feeling upset about it. But the beautiful thing about this podcast is I learned so much. And so now I know I will know better how to be prepared for it. Because maybe I just wasn't really thinking about it enough. And maybe it would have hit me really hard because I wasn't thinking about it and preparing for it. So we'll see. Allie Hill is joining us today. She is a keynote speaker, coach, and author of The Girlfriend's Guide to Empty Nesting. Allie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. So nice to be here.
Yes. So I have to tell you, I have 3 kids. My oldest is 16. And I was not yet worried about what my life is going to look like when she leaves the nest until I read your book. So,
you will be fine.
Okay, good. Okay, I already feel better. But one of the, actually, oh my gosh, I think it's the first page. It says, you picked up this book because you're ready to stop feeling empty, purposeless, or uncertain about the future. You're ready for hope and you're open to possibilities. So my first burning question is, are a lot of people feeling this way? Once they have an empty nest, they're feeling hopeless and purposeless?
Yeah, it might surprise you. I think maybe,
Yes.
Holly, because you have a job and you have a lot of outside interest, but many of my clients are stay-at-home moms, and they've just poured their whole life and selves into their children for decades. And so, the number one words are lonely, purposeless, uncertain. It's sad. It is sad.
It's so sad. Yes.
It's sad in the sense that, it's a part of our lives that maybe we weren't prepared for.
Right.
Maybe we didn't know that we were going to feel this way. But the great news is there's me and there's many other empty nest support systems.
Oh, is there? Okay.
There are.
Because Aaron and I were like, Allie's probably the only one in the whole world. But
I
no,
thought
there's
I
others.
was, but no, now there are many others. There are, and they're good ones. It's becoming a really beautiful community. There are 22.2 million empty nesters in America. Wow. It's a huge population that just keeps regenerating.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so you've already answered my second burning question, which is, do you think, the people, I feel like maybe is your work geared more towards moms, not so much dads, or?
It really is. I do get the odd comment, on Instagram or email, what about the dads? And I'm like, you guys.
It's not the same.
Follow along. If you're anything like my husband, he got up and went to work every day, and he did not have the same kind of huge identity crisis that I did.
Right. Okay. So yes, what my second burning question was is this really something that you find more common where they're just feeling this emptiness, this loneliness in stay-at-home moms, because this has been their identity. Raising kids has completely been their identity. Would you say that's accurate?
I would say it is accurate. I wouldn't say that it's only them. I mean, I have tons of clients that are working moms as well.
Yeah.
and their kids are gone. So there's still that emptiness, that bittersweet feeling of, yay, we did it. We launched them. That was the goal. And
That was the
yet
goal. Yeah.
that was the goal. We kind of
Yeah.
forget that. But then
Yeah.
there's a space at the dinner table. There's our weekends are different. It's just a huge transition.
Yes. Well, so it's actually interesting that we're doing this episode now because we haven't shot an episode in about 6 weeks. So, getting my hair and makeup done this morning, I was catching up with my makeup artist Liz, and she's like, "What's been going on?" I'm like, "I don't even know. My kids have been gone for I have 3 kids. I think I said that. They've been gone for 3 weeks." And I'm like, "My life has just been so different." And she's like, "Well, what?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's just been different." So I actually can kind of see how that is I haven't been sad. I miss them and I'm looking forward to them coming back, but it has been so different. It's definitely a different vibe in the house, and it's just been different. So I could see how and like you pointed out, I do have a lot of other things going on, and I feel like I have a lot of other purposes other than them. But even with all that, it's still so different when they're not in the house.
And I think it's what you make of different. So different for you could just be, wow, awareness. Like this feels different. But maybe
Yeah.
for the empty nest mom who it's also not 3 weeks. It's,
It's forever.
years. It's forever.
Yes.
And that,
Yes.
if you have the fixed mindset of this is terrible. Like I don't like different. I'm not good with this. Instead of, okay, it's different, but what can I glean from this? What can I be open to now?
Right. So it's all about the meaning that you assign to it. We just shot a podcast where the guest was talking about a plane crash that he endured, and he was talking about it's all about the meaning that you assign to it. And I think we could apply that here too.
Yes. I think you can apply it to any situation.
Totally.
It's what you make it mean, for sure.
Yes. So tell me more about your story. How did you get to the point where you're like, I actually need to make this my life's work. I need to start coaching on this and really helping other women with their empty nest.
Yeah, so it began like 7 years ago when I have one daughter and she went off to college and I was not prepared. I thought I prepared. I'd hired a therapist. I thought, okay, I am an over preparer. And yet I was woefully unprepared because just like you can't dress for rehearse tragedy, you kind of can't truly prepare for emotions and different scenarios. Like it's just going to come at you. You can have certain things in place. So when my daughter Izzy went off to college, I didn't realize that as we were packing her up with all the things and the boxes and the list, that not only was she taking all her stuff, but she took my identity and my purpose and kind of my reason for getting up in the morning. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that, but that was the truth. So I kind of vowed at that moment that if I ever figure this out, I'm going to help other women. Like this is terrible. Nobody should be going through this. So that was the beginning. And the next thing that I did was become a life coach, which was by happenstance. It was a friend of a friend sent me an email. I didn't do anything with it at that time, but it got me thinking. It got me open to other possibilities. Wasn't until 2020 that I really honed in on, okay, it's empty nesters that I want to help. This is it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So were you a stay-at-home mom?
I was a journalist prior to becoming, sort of in tandem to becoming a mom. But I mean, once I started signing up for being the room parent and the lacrosse assistant coach and all of that, my career dropped to the side. And I put all my eggs in that little one's basket. So yes, I would say for all intents, yes, I don't even think I could say that phrase. All intents and purposes, I was a stay-at-home mom.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm sure you were an amazing mom, and I'm sure you are an amazing mom. How do you help people that are navigating this?
Well, I meet them where they are because nobody's journey is the same. I mean, if you called me up tomorrow and said, okay, I think I want to get on this, I would say, okay, Holly, let's see what you're struggling with. Like, what's the number one thing? Is it an identity thing? Is it structure? Do you need self-care? Everybody has something different. I would say the beginning of my empty nest mom journey for my clients is to find out kind of what their thought process is. What are they saying to themselves every morning? Are they saying, my life is over, everything good is behind me? You know, there's so many lies that I think culture has fed us, maybe culture, media, maybe it's things we've created on our own that just aren't true. Like, when your kids leave, you know, your life is over. That's a terrible thought. Who wants that?
That is a terrible thought. Yeah. Because when you think about it, I mean, the time where your kids are minors, like 0 to 18, it's actually kind of a short time frame of your life.
Yeah. And it can be. What is it? The days are long, but the years are short. There is that thing. I found when my daughter was little, it was endless. And then as she started going to high school, I'm like, where's it going? Where's it going?
Oh my gosh, for sure. When they start high school, I'm like, somebody stop, like, slow it down, slow it down. It seems to go by so fast. But when they're toddlers, I'm like, they say a day is 24 hours. It surely must be 72 hours. This is a 72-hour day.
Exactly. You got it. Yeah. So true.
Yeah. Okay, so you start by just sort of figuring out where they're at, meeting them there.
Yeah. And then it's really like, okay, you know, is this the time? I love to talk about dreaming and scheming because I think as women, midlife women, we tend to have put our dreams and desires on a shelf, and rightfully so. Maybe it was really the time to pour everything that you've got in your focus into your partner and your children and your family community, but almost never yourself. So this is the time to dream and scheme. And I think it's the exciting time. It can be a really scary time for people when I ask them, okay, here's my magic wand. I grab it and I say, if time and money and people's opinions, if none of that was a problem, bing, 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 what would you like to do? I almost always get this. You know, just nothing, just abject terror and then embarrassment and a little bit of shame because they can't even grab that dream or desire. They just don't know. And that's where I come in and I'm like, okay, we start simple. Let's go back to figuring out what you like now, not what you did like, are you a shower or a bath person? Weren't we all shower people because that's what you had to be? You'd get up and get out the door.
Yeah, who's got time for a bath? I mean, come on.
But maybe now you're truly a bubble bath person. Right. You know, and so just little things like that, little tweaks of finding out, you know, showering, are you a coffee or a tea person? Are you a morning or an evening person? All the things that were dictated by our kids and family schedule, you get to reimagine now. I think that's exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Yeah. So the thing that's going on in my mind right now, and I'm like, why am I the way I am? Because I already know, that when my kids are out of the house, I am joining, it's called Scratch LA. It's a DJ academy in LA. And I already know, that is what I'm doing. When I don't have to rush home at night and go to soccer practice in the horse arena and piano lessons, I'm going to be in downtown LA learning how to spin better. And so I'm like, how, plus, that's at the top of my list, but I got 20 other things. Yeah. What is it about somebody that, on that end of the spectrum versus, because I run into this all the time too. My day job is a divorce lawyer, and I kind of do the very same exercise you do. You have a chance to redesign your life right now, and you don't have to worry about what that other person wants out of you or needs from you or anything like that. If you had a magic wand, what would your life look like? Yeah. And 90% of them, probably more than that, don't know. They've never thought about it. It's very hard for them to think about it. It's almost seems like it's painful. You taught me something new though. I think I'm gonna now start smaller. Do you like coffee or tea? Are you a shower or bubble bath? So thank you for teaching me that. Sure. But what is it about certain people that they haven't felt free to dream like that? What do you attribute that to?
I think that I don't know whether it's culture or we only can, don one role at a time. I think you're probably a woman who I love to think of our roles as like shirts. You probably have a large wardrobe. You have 8 shirts, right? You can be
Okay.
the divorce attorney. You can
Yeah.
be the DJ. You can,
Yeah.
maybe you play pickleball. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe there are all those things, but I think for a lot of stay-at-home moms, they have 2 shirts. They are a wife and they are a mother. And they don't even, and maybe they've got a girlfriend blouse, but
Right.
the big dreams that they wanted, the master gardener, the author, I mean, we could make a list of 200 dreams,
Right.
and they have not allowed themselves a moment to consider that, because when you're singularly focused on the kids and the family and their well-being, and that is a very important high calling, you just forgot yourself. You've literally forgotten yourself and your dreams.
Wow. Okay. That's so sad. I'm so sad right now.
I know. I literally was gonna go, oh, wah, wah.
I know. But the good thing, I think you would agree with this. Well, you definitely would, because I think your life symbolizes this. Is like, it's never too late. Like, you can always dream a new dream. You can always get a whole new life going on. Like, you did that for yourself.
Yes. I mean, literally early 50s. When this time came, I'm like, there's no way. I refused. After I got out of the sad phase, you have to
Yeah.
allow yourself the feelings. Like, I don't want people to think that I'm pushing the narrative of hop, skip, and jump over the feelings. Feel your
Yeah.
feelings, but make sure you don't get stuck in those feelings.
Right.
I love the analogy of having a radio, and if you don't like the station, you can turn the channel. So it's the same thing. Give equal airtime to the possibilities and the dreams as you are to your doubts and your fears.
Yeah.
I think that that's really important.
I love that. So, one of the things that I see in my, in my work as a divorce lawyer is people waiting to, they know they want to get a divorce when the kids are still in the house. And they think for a whole, myriad of reasons that it would be best to wait until the kids are out of the house to then divorce, which I'll just use this moment as sort of encouraging people to not do that, because you're not, if you're staying together for the kids, like, now you're divorcing when the kids are at a super vulnerable point in their life. They're now, they have the least amount of social structure ever because they've just moved out. They're in college. They're trying to find a new friend group and all that kind of stuff. But that aside, do you, in the work that you do, are you finding, that happening some of the time?
Yeah, I have. I have not helped a particular client, but
Okay.
definitely it is the time. It is very common because people, couples are looking maybe at each other for the first time in a long time, and it's kind of
Right.
going, wait, who are
Yeah.
you? Like,
Yes.
are we supposed to be together, or was it just the kids that were the glue that were keeping
Right.
us together? And you have to ask some really important questions. Why are you together? I call it choosing again. Like, and I said that to my husband and my daughter. I'm like, okay, I am going to go through a process and decide whether this is something that I want to do. And
Oh.
maybe, yeah, I mean,
Your husband was like, "Oh my gosh, I better be on my A game right now."
yeah, probably, but he played it cool.
Yeah.
I know, I think they're shocked because that's kind of that's blunt language, but in my
Yeah.
mind, it really was. I think I knew up into that time that, yes, of course, I'm going to stay married. But when Izzy went up to college, I could see all the options. And I wanted to make sure that for myself, I'm staying in this marriage because it's the best thing for my life, not just because
Right.
of all the other reasons, society reasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is very enlightened thinking.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, so when it comes to, I know earlier you mentioned, you can't prepare for an emotion, but are there things that parents can do both in terms of like from a parenting perspective and also maybe a marriage perspective, a relationship between husband and wife perspective.
Yes.
Are there things we can do to prepare for this time in our life?
Yeah, and I think if you think of it more as just life preparing, like not in terms of, oh my gosh, I've got to get my nest settled. Like, I just feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves. View it as an opportunity to, while the kids are still home, to make sure you're connecting with your partner, go on dates, make sure you still like each other, hone, hone that relationship then. When
Yeah.
Izzy left, I know that we had, at our breakfast bars, kind of where we always took our meals, and there was the big spot in the middle when Izzy left. And so I kind of wish that we'd done that differently, because there's my husband, here I am, and then the giant space. And I looked at him, when she first left, and he's like, let's scoot closer together. And it sounds so silly, but it was so symbolic. You can move together, and listen, you can change things up when the kids are still at home. Maybe you and your hubby or your partner sit next to each other, and the kids are over there.
Yeah.
Because that's who you're going to be left with when they leave.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Which also kind of sounds depressing.
I know. None of this is, I don't mean any of this to be depressing, because honestly, I truly believe, for me, this is my best chapter yet. I have a phenomenal relationship with my daughter, and she's now engaged. And so now with her fiance,
Oh,
and a great
congratulations.
relationship with my husband, like
Yeah.
in Redefine. Plus, I found my calling and my purpose. I feel like it's a triple win. Before, it was
Yes.
just great being a mom, and my marriage, which it was good, but I think I really put it on hold. Not on hold. It was on the back burner. I wasn't paying attention to it as
Right.
much. So I'd say pay attention to your marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I definitely agree with that advice.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have kids, that's probably a good thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am a big proponent of like women in particular always kind of having a purpose outside of the home, whether, it doesn't have to necessarily be like income producing, but it's like charity work or, something that matters to them that is separate and apart from their identity as a mom or a wife, particularly because I see how in a lot of cases that identity sometimes can be stripped away through a divorce. They're no longer a wife, and now they don't have their kids 100% of the time. Yeah. So how do you feel about that?
I agree 1,000%. I agree. I think, and the sooner you can start that, the better.
Okay.
Or hopefully you maybe never left it. Like being a journalist, I wrote from time to time. I would do the odd article, but in retrospect, I wish that I'd kept that up more, so it wasn't such a huge chasm to get over. But yeah, whatever it is, and I think you have to go back, because you say that to probably your clients or mine, and they get the big eyes, I don't know. I have no idea. So you just start small. And do you like to do yoga? Do you like to, are you a gardener? Are you a painter? Anything. Sky's the limit. Go back to school, take a class. You have to have had some sort of glimmer of another idea of something, hopefully.
Right. Yeah. What I find most often is they have a lot of fear. It's a lot of fear about, a lot of what they're sort of facing in my line of work is like going back to work, getting back into the workforce.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of fear around that. Do you have any words of wisdom for people that are feeling fear to either get back outside, outside of the home in any capacity, or back into the workforce or anything like that?
Yeah. I think we all travel with a certain amount of fear. Mm-hmm. And the only way to get over that fear is to create confidence. And the only way to create confidence is to try something and be okay if it fails the first time. Get back up, try it again, because it's repetition. It's trying and trying, because eventually that's going to become practice, and then we're going to get better at it, and then we're going to get some confidence. And then confidence leads to more concerted effort. And yeah, you've got to take action. You've got to be willing to put yourself out there and make it a baby step.
Right.
Make it the teeniest, tiniest. Even try to set yourself up for a win if you can. Volunteer at something and maybe get that skill honed a little bit more, and then go from there.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Have you seen any pitfalls of couples or moms? Like, what are the things that we should not do or sort of be cautious about doing once we have an empty nest?
I would say they start prior to that. I think I put a do not do list in the book because I did them all, and because you gotta tell on yourself first.
Yeah.
I was, if there's something more than a helicopter mom, that was me. But I think it's also having one.
Oh my gosh.
I was so enmeshed with my daughter. I mean, and I thought it was really cool because she told me everything. I was sort of always in the know, and I thought that was a superpower. But boy, when they leave, not so good. So I would say, first of all, not so good for her either. Yeah. Sometimes we have trouble taking advice for ourselves, but when I can turn it into advice that you'd be helping your kids, my clients hear it a lot better. So I say you're doing a disservice by not empowering and enabling your kids to do things on their own. Let them make mistakes. Let them have little failures. And then do it yourself, and then show them. Model yourself, picking yourself, getting up and doing it anyway. I've done that 100 times for my daughter. Being an entrepreneur and a writer and doing all these things in the public eye on purpose, you're going to make mistakes, but bravo to us for doing it in the public arena.
That's right. Yeah. So, okay, for my last question, does your daughter, you've gone from being, what you say, like, if there's something even more than a helicopter mom, that was you. So you've gone from being like helicopter on steroids mom to now sort of, finding yourself, living out your purpose that is separate and apart from being a mom. Has your daughter ever mentioned or commented like, wow, mom, like, what happened to you? Like, in a positive way? Has she seen the shift, I guess is my question.
1,000% she's seen the shift. And I remember her sophomore year of college. So she's 26 now. So a number of years ago, she came home she went to school out of state. So she came home for, let's just call it Christmas vacation. And she said, do you want to go get your nails done? I'm like, oh, I've got a call. Do you want to go, get some lunch? Oh, I can't. I've got a podcast. Do you want to? And she looked at me, and that evening she goes, I used to like you better when you were available 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
and that was fair. Yeah. Fair. I would have liked me too if I was her. But as she matured, and as she can see my happiness and my calling, and she's a huge part of it. Like throughout that book and throughout many of my interviews, I mention her a lot.
Right.
And she's my biggest cheerleader now. She gets it.
I love that. That's great. Well, Allie, thank you so much for the work that you're doing, and thank you for being on Made for More.
Oh, thank you, Holly. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Before I hit stop, we'll put this in maybe like after the credits or something like that. I have a list of the types of parents out there. And there is one step above helicopter parent. That is the snowplow parent.
I was going to say bulldozer.
Yeah, they remove obstacles from the kids' way so they don't face any adversity at all. But that doesn't sound like you, Allie. That doesn't sound like you.
Oh, God, no, of course not.
There's also one that I'm seeing for the first time called the hummingbird parent.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, that sounds pretty.
A hummingbird parent watches over their little ones, but they don't meddle too much in their decisions. They try not to make decisions for their children or shield them from failure, but try to stay physically or psychologically close by so they can help their kids if they need it.
I'd say that's me now. I wouldn't say I was a combination of the snowplow and the helicopter. Yeah. I was all the mechanics. And I'm now a beautiful hummingbird.
Yes, good. Very good. I've got just a little bit more to say. If today's episode resonated with you and you're either feeling the fear of doing something, or maybe you're looking at having an empty nest pretty soon and you're worried about your purpose and your reason for getting up in the morning suddenly suddenly going off to college. I loved what Allie said. She said, one, just take action. Just be willing to start taking action. That's definitely the first step. And then she says the only way to create confidence is through repetition and getting some wins. So try something new, even if it's something small, repeat it, get that repetition in, get in those reps to create the confidence. And before you know it, you will have a whole new purpose, a whole new lease on life, and you won't find yourself in sort of this hopeless, lonely state, because we definitely don't want that for you, because you were made for more. A prenuptial agreement, or sometimes called a premarital agreement, is an agreement that two parties enter into before they get married that basically chooses to deviate from state law. It assigns rights and responsibilities regarding assets and debts that are acquired during the marriage. Some common misconceptions about prenups are, one, that they basically doom the marriage to failure, or that it's really planning to divorce, and neither of those things are true. But the real value of a prenup is talking about and creating rules around how the things that you acquire during the marriage are going to be characterized. A prenup can protect things like art collections, real estate portfolios, businesses, all those types of assets. The ideal timeline to get a prenup is not 2 weeks before the wedding. The final version of a prenup has to be presented to the parties 7 days before they actually sign it. So there's like a 7-day waiting period. As soon as you get engaged, you should seek a lawyer's advice and counsel on a prenup and start the process then, because the closer the prenup is signed to the wedding, the more likely that the court is going to think there was some sort of duress involved in that person signing it, and they have to prove that the prenup was signed voluntarily in order for them to be enforced. At Moore Family Law Group, we represent a lot of high-profile people, celebrities, professional athletes, business tycoons. If you already have a lot of assets, or you think you're going to be acquiring a lot of assets during your marriage, we are the best ones to protect that for you and help you make your marriage stronger. Call Moore Family Law Group today.